What the tier lists up, everyone? Welcome back to Mana Chamber. We're doing another rating video today. March of the Machines, the Aftermath rares. There's not too many of them. Really appreciate if you help this channel grow by subscribing to the channel or liking the video. Both those things are awesome. Anyway, let's get into this. So we got Arnie Metalbrow for red and 2, legendary creature, human berserker, 3 and 3. Whenever a creature you control attacks, or a creature enters the battlefield under your control attacking, you may pay a red and 1. If you do, you may put a creature card with mana value less than that creature's mana value from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So basically, attacking creatures, you get more of them coming out. Swing, swing, swing from the bottom of my heart. I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's a little expensive, it's 5 to do that, but you're getting extra stuff. I think I'll give this a B. Let's go with B. Yes. Aria's Oathsworn. Or a black and 1 creature, human knight, 2/2 with menace. When they deal combat damage to a player that has fewer than 4 +1 counters on it, put a +1 counter on it. Then if it has exactly 4 +1 counters on it, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, shuffle. You get a swing, only on combat damage, so you want to make sure they hit. Then you can search for a card. Not too bad. It's kind of cool. I like it, to say the least. Searching for any card's really good. I think for that fact, I'll put it in B, just for searching for any card in your deck. Danitha, New Benalia's Light. For a white, a green, and 1 legendary creature, human knight, with vigilance, trample, lifelink, 2/2. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an aura or equipment spell from your graveyard. So she comes out, you just keep boofing her up. You got equipment and auras in your deck. There's nothing wrong with this. It's B tier possibilities, but I'm gonna go C tier. Because you got to get stuff in your graveyard. I guess you could mill with green, maybe. Deification for 1 white and 1, an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a planeswalker type. Planeswalkers you control of the chosen type have hexproof, as long as you control a creature. If damage dealt to a planeswalker you control of the chosen type would result in all loyalty counters on it being removed. Instead, all but one of those counters are removed. So what, you basically can't lose one of your planeswalkers. It's pretty powerful if you're especially playing a planeswalker focused deck. I think I'm just gonna give it a C for I mean, it's really good for planeswalkers, don't get me wrong, but is it are you gonna use it in a bunch of decks? Probably not, unless you have planeswalkers in them. I know where I'm at. Drannith Ruins. It's a land. Taps for a colorless. You can pay 2 and tap it to put 2 +1 counters on target non-human creature that enter the battlefield this turn. So, boof up your dudes if you're putting a bunch of dudes out that especially aren't humans. I mean, it's okay, honestly. I'm not going to say it's the best. I'll throw this in D tier for these rares. This particular rating video. Jarina, Dauntless General for a black and white legendary creature, human soldier, 2/2. When they enter the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. You can sacrifice her and humans you control game. It's hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. I mean, it's cool. It's graveyard hate. Make your humans indestructible and hexproof for a clutch moment. We're gonna go D tier with this one as well, I do believe. Jolrael, Voice of Zalfir, for a blue, a green, and 2 legendary creature, human druid, 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target land you control becomes an XX green and blue bird creature with flying and haste until the end of the turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. It is still a land. Whenever a land creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So draw a card's nice. You're turning lands into birds. Maybe you want to also have other land creatures in this kind of deck. I don't know. For the draw card, it's not too bad. I'll put it in C for the potentialities of ramping, I suppose. Leyline Immersion for a green and 3 enchantment aura, enchant legendary creature. Enchanted creature has ward 2 and tap it to add 5 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast spells. So great in a Wooburg deck, great in like a Joda the Unifier deck where you have tons of legendary creatures. I feel like it's a decent card. Well, I'm gonna put it in C for being a pretty decent card there. Metropolis Reformer for a white and 2 angel cleric creature 2/3 with flying and vigilance. You have hexproof, and whenever this creature is dealt damage, you gain that much life. So give yourself hexproof and then gain life if they are dealt damage. They're not indestructible though. I'm gonna throw this in D. Having hexproof on yourself is good, but compared to the rest of these, I think a D tier is better for this particular rating video. Alright. Nahiri's Resolve for a white, a red, and 3. Enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have haste. At the beginning of your end step, exile any number of non-token artifacts and or creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of your next end step. Or next upkeep. So, make your creatures go away. Any number, so you don't have blockers. I guess if you're swinging with boys, then it's good to have them. It's a little expensive. And then you can get swung at, and then like, especially like a game of Commander that's multiplayer, that could be bad news for you. Just in this rankings video alone and the expense of this card, I honestly am gonna give this an F. Even though there are times and places this could be amazing, I think it's the worst card I've seen so far. Nashi, Moon's Legacy for a blue, a green, and a black. Legendary creature, Rat Shaman. 3/4 with Menace and Ward 1. Whenever they attack, exile up to 1 target legendary or rat card from your graveyard, copy it, you may cast the copy. So you're getting stuff from the graveyard. It's not bad. When they attack, so you're casting a copy of the card. And you make tokens if you're like casting creatures. It's not bad. I think I'll do D on it because it's not terrible. You're getting, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, actually, I'm sorry. I'm dropping it back down to F as well. It needs to sit next to Nahiri's Resolve. All right, Niv Mizzet Supreme for a green, a red, a black, a blue, and a white. Legendary creature, dragon avatar, 5/5. Flying, hexproof for monocolored. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colors has Jump Start, which you can cast by discarding a card in addition to paying whatever its mana costs are. I also think this is an F ranking for this particular video list. Man, is anything an A ranking? I guess something has to be, right? Is it? Open the way for 2 green and X. Sorcery. X can't be greater than the number of players in the game, which is basically like 4 in a Commander game. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X land cards. Put those lands onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So basically for 6, you could get 4 tapped land out. It's not bad. It's kind of expensive. I think I'll go C on this. It could be clutch in like 3 for a land ramp, I suppose, could be pretty clutch. And if you're getting huge, I mean, I don't know. C. Oh, I put it on D. I mean, I said C, but I put it on D. And I meant D. So, D tier it is. Pia Nalar, Console of Revival for a white and red. Legendary creature, Human Artificer, 2/3. Thopters you control have haste. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. I do think it's cool, the Thopter theme. You have to play stuff from exile, so you need to make exiled stuff. If you're doing that in your deck, it's good. I think I'll just throw this in C tier. It could even be worse than that, though, as far as just like a base card in your deck goes. Depending upon your deck, of course. Plarg and Nasserai for 2 red and 3 legendary creature Orc Efrit. 5/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. An opponent chooses a non-land card exiled this way. You may cast up to 2 spells from among the other cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. So you get free spells. I think this is actually super awesome and super powerful. Even though it's expensive, I'm giving it an A. My first A. Thank you, Plarg and Nasari. You have gotten us over the A hump. Rebuild the city for a green, a red, a black, and 3 sorcery. Choose target land. Create 3 tokens that are copies of it, except they're 3/3 creatures in addition to their other types. And they have vigilance and menace. This is kind of dope, actually, and it's ramp. I don't know. I'm kind of down with this. I'll put it in C tier for being kind of down with it. It's just expensive, but yeesh. Rocco, Street Chef. For a white, a green, and a red, legendary creature Elf Druid, 2/4. At the beginning of your end step, each player exiles the top of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play the card they exiled this way. Whenever a player plays a land from exile, or casts a spell from exile, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and create a food token. I've seen some crazy stuff with this card. It seems super powerful. It definitely goes in the A tier. Sigarda, Font of Blessings for a white, a green, and 2 legendary creature Angel 4/4 flying. Other permanents you control have hexproof. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast angel spells and human spells from the top of your library. Casting from the top of your library is super dope. This is a legendary creature, like as a commander, is amazing. As just like any base card though, I mean, it gives your other permanents hexproof. You can look at the top card of your library. Just those alone are amazing. I think for that alone it gets an A, and then you can place them off the top of your library. No, it's just a really good card. Spark Rupture, a white and 2 enchantment. When Spark Rupture enters the battlefield, draw a card. Each planeswalker with 1 or more loyalty counters on it loses all abilities and is a creature with power and toughness, each equal to the number of loyalty counters on it. They'll basically turn planeswalkers into creatures. It's pretty cool. It could come in clutch in a moment, in the right one, and you get to draw 1 card off of it. I do think it's a D tier spell, though, according to my rankings of this list, just because it's very, particular for the right moment when you have a planeswalker that's just beating you up and you got to stop it. Tazri, Stalwart Survival for a white and 2 legendary creature, human warrior, 3/3. Each creature you control has tap. Add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. Spend this mana to only activate an ability of a creature. Activate only if this creature has another activated ability. For Wooburg and tap, you can mill 5 cards and put all creature cards with activated abilities that aren't mana abilities from among the build cards into your hand. This card's just super crazy and kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't really seen much gameplay with it, so I don't really know how it functions. It sounds like it could be fun. I think I'm going to put it into D tier though. Just because maybe that ability is hard to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. The Kenrith's Royal Funeral for a black, a white, and 2 legendary enchantment. When this card enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target legendary creature cards from your graveyard. You draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the greatest mana value among cards exiled this way. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast for each card exiled with Kenrith's Royal Funeral. Okay, so you draw some cards, you lose a little bit of life. Make things cheaper. basically up to 2 cheaper. For legendary spells specifically, it could definitely be good in the right deck, I think. For this rating video, it's also going in the F tier. Man, am I being too harsh on some of these this rating time around? Training Grounds for 1 blue, an enchantment. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 colorless less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. I think this is a super dope card and it only costs 2. I want to put this in A because I really like the card and you could do some really mean stuff with it. Tranquil Frillback, a green and 2 creature dinosaur, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay a green up to 3 times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, choose up to that many. So you can do 1 of these or up to 3 of these. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Exile target player's graveyard. You gain 4 life. It's well rounded. It would cost what? 5 to do them all? It's fun. It's fine. It can do a lot. It's flexible. I'll give it a C for all of that. Got a lot of flexibility there. Urborg Scavengers, a black and 2 creature, spirit 2/2. Whenever they enter the battlefield or attack, exile target card from a graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on them. They have flying as long as a card exiled with them has flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. You can basically make these guys super stupid, super wonky. I think they're super fun, actually. I want to give them an A as well. And then let's see what this final card is like. Vesuvan Drifter for a blue and 2 creature shapeshifter 2/4 with flying. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Well, that's a great start to a card. At the beginning of each combat, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you reveal a creature this way, this card becomes a copy of that card until the end of your turn, except it has flying. Wow. So this could become a scary thing with flying. You can look at the top card of your library so you know. You could just reveal. I think this is pretty dope, honestly. I'll totally throw this in the B tier. Glad to have another B tier in there. What do you think, team? Are we saying this is the right rating? I feel pretty good about this one, actually. Maybe I'm way off base, but I'm feeling pretty good about this rating. So now let's see if we can find the worst card in this set. It's kind of a tough choice, but I'm gonna say the worst card in this set is Niv-Mizzet Supreme. I mean, hexproof from what, monocolor? I don't remember what else it does. I'd have to go back and look at it, I guess. Well, let me do that. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, everybody out there that don't have everything memorized. Oh yeah, instant sorcery cards that cost exactly 2 have jumpstart. You're discarding card to, yeah. It's just kind of weak for this set, in my opinion. What's up with Niv-Mizzet, man? When he's like just red and blue, cards are amazing. When he's more colors, cards are kind of wonk. Alright, the best card in this set. There's several big contenders in this set, in my opinion. Yeah, in my opinion. It could be Rocco Street Chef. I see people doing some redonko stuff with that. I really am leaning towards this Urborg Scavengers. And Plarg and Nasari, or whatever their name is super good too. Man, you can really get some cool stuff with them. I gotta go take a look at that one more time so I can make sure I'm saying stuff right. Let's see. So yeah, your upkeep, each player exiles. The opponent chooses a card and then you can cast up to 2 spells. Yeah, see, I don't know. Casting up to 2 spells for free? I don't know. I think Plarg and Nasari are the best card of the rares of this set. They can just do some nasty stuff. You're casting multiple free things. So that's my rating. Do you agree? What is your best ranked card amongst the rares here for the March of the Machines, the Aftermath set? What is your worst, least favorite card in this set as well? Please tell me your opinion. I'd love to hear it. These rating lists are kind of interesting to make. I'm going to keep going with them for at least a little bit. I think at least through the Lord of the Rings set. Maybe I'll reevaluate after that. Maybe do just commanders. I don't know. The commander ones are super popular. Are people liking these like mythic rares, uncommon, common rankings? I don't think there'll be a common ranking video for the Aftermath set. I don't think there are any commons in that set because it's a weird mini set. So either way, subscribe to the channel, like the video. I really appreciate your support, appreciate you sticking out through this video, and just like, I appreciate a lot of things. Have a great day.